folks, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Veronica and I do videos usually on motherhood and lifestyle, but I also do a little bit of cooking and DIY. And in today's video, I am going to be filming one of my all-time favorite recipes. This recipe is a go-to for when I haven't done a meal plan, I don't really know what we're going to have for dinner, or in this case, lunch, and I want something that is filling but easy, especially on a weeknight, or like now it's Saturday afternoon and we want to get lunch on the table in under 30 minutes. In today's video, we're going to be doing an Orzo Primavera. Now I have gathered kind of just some ingredients that are left over from the week, from the fridge, and it is all going to come together very, very quickly. So just to kind of show you what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using some courgette. I'm gonna throw 2 in because that's what we have left. I've also got some broccoli florets, some mushrooms, and half of a lemon left over from last night's dinner. Now the other ingredients that you're going to need are some olive oil as well as some orzo, and I'm going to of course season with salt and pepper as well. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first thing that I'm going to do, and this is going to come together very, very quickly, is I am going to get a non-stick pan and go ahead and start heating that on a medium to low heat, and I'm going to put in some olive oil as well. This is not a mandatory step at all, but I think it gives the orzo a really, really nice flavor. Is I heat the pan with some olive oil and then I put the orzo in it to kind of get it like brown and toasted. Just gives it like a little bit of a nuttier flavor, and it's a little bit more flavorful than if you just kind of cook the orzo in like a broth, for example. Now, the key to making this recipe is definitely multitasking. So get your orzo roasting, get it nice and toasted with the olive oil in the pan. While this is cooking, I'm going to give it a nice stir, making sure it's not burning, but I'm gonna chop up all of the veg so that it is ready to go into the pot. I'm gonna give them a nice rinse. I'm going to take off the tops and the tails, and I'm not going to kind of give too much thought to how I'm chopping the veg. I just don't want it to be too big because I don't want it to take too long to cook. That's the only consideration that I'm going to make as I am preparing the vegetables. So I'm just going to chop them in half. And it might seem like a lot of courgette, but A, I love zucchini, but B, it does cook down relatively small. So I don't really have a great cooking space at the moment. I don't have tons and tons of space. So this one is actually a really good recipe for if you have a small kitchen. I'm just putting this all into a bowl because you don't really need to do any prep other than chopping up the courgette, as you can see. So I am going to just get this nice and chopped, because for the rest, I just need to really give it a rinse. And that is everything that we need to do by way of prep. That's why this is like the perfect kind of weeknight recipe, or if you just really need to get the meal on the table very quickly. George and I were kind of talking about what we were going to have for lunch today, and I was like, you know what, should I film this recipe? And he was like, yeah, as long as you don't take a million years. And luckily, this is a recipe that indeed does not take a long time to prepare. Orzo is getting really a nice golden color. It is really, really starting to get that nice toasty vibe. And I'm just gonna get it like raising the temperature a little bit so that I can add in the stock powder, and then I'm just gonna add in the veg, and I'm just gonna let it cook until the orzo and the veggies are all cooked through, and that is it. I've got a ton of zucchini, so I'm not gonna put as many mushrooms as I normally would. I love mushrooms. I can really eat them pretty much every single day, but I'm gonna use probably half of this pack, and this pack was of 300 grams. So I'm gonna use around 150 grams of mushrooms. These ones are pre-sliced. It's just how they're sold in our grocery store, and to be perfectly honest, it is pretty convenient having them already sliced and you don't have to do any chopping. So I'm just going to give them a very, very good rinse, making sure that I get all of the little dirt and residue off. I'm going to add just a little bit of the broccoli. I feel like we've got enough courgette, we've got enough kind of other things going on. You can hear everything is cooking down already. Again, super easy, total one pot meal. And all you do next is let the veg cook down. Sometimes I make this recipe in 2 separate pans. So I'll do the risotto or the pasta in a separate pan, and then I'll cook the veggies separately. But today I just don't have time for that. I want everything to go in one pot and just cook up really, really quickly. So I'm gonna let this cook down. It's probably gonna take about 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm taking a little bit longer than I normally would because I am filming. But when you see the end result, you'll see exactly what I mean. Those huge chunks of courgette are going to release lots and lots of water, and they're gonna give so much flavor to the dish, and it's just going to be super, super tasty. Just let this sit with a very, very low heat, probably for about 6 or 7 minutes. And as you can see, the pasta is already absorbing lots and lots of the water. The mushrooms are almost completely cooked down, and the zucchini is nearly cooked as well. Let's taste it and see how it came out. I know it's good though, because I already tasted it from the pot. Don't tell anybody. So good. It's very, very hot, so. Oh, this came out so good. Low key, I was worried that because I was filming while I was making this, it wasn't gonna come out as good as usual because I was a little bit distracted with the camera and whatnot, but this came out so good. Honestly, this came out so good, and this is the perfect kind of recipe for, again, like I said, when you really want to have something that is delicious, super fast, really easy to make, using ingredients that are flexible. You can switch out the zucchini if you don't like it. You can add peas, you can add green beans, you can add any kind of vegetable. The whole concept of this recipe is the process. You take a pasta or even a rice, you saute that, get it nice and toasty, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of veggie stock cube or chicken broth or anything to give it a little bit more dimension. Chop up some veg, some mushrooms, throw it in a pot, add some water, and let it simmer. It is as simple as that. This is definitely one of our favorite all-time go-to recipes. We make it at least once a week, if not more sometimes, depending on what's going on. And honestly, I'm gonna have another bite because it's just so good. This one's a winner. Hopefully you like this kind of video, and this recipe gives you a little bit of inspiration for something that you can make to feed your family on a budget with really, really simple and fresh ingredients, ready in 30 minutes or less. If you liked this recipe, and if you end up making this recipe, go ahead and comment down below what you thought. So thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you next time. Bye. Oh my goodness, it's so tasty.